Here. Don't make that sound. Okay.
Do you see me shaking?
Yeah, why are you shaking? Did you have too much coffee?
Maybe. I'm just nervous.
I know cutting on PPF and vinyl, and especially your car, is going to be a little bit challenging and scary. But there is one way you could actually see if you're doing it right or wrong. So let's jump right into this. We got this really cool tool that we purchased from one of our partners, and this tool is actually going to teach you how to cut properly. And one of the things is, man, I wish I had this when I was first learning how to cut it. I actually cut it on my own car, and I have made some really bad mistakes. But luckily, it's not a customer's car, and it is my car, and I had originally a lot of knife marks in the beginning. So a couple ways I've also done it in training for our guys is I've actually had like a panel that I bought or from like a crash, and I basically put it on that, and we've basically used that as a practice area. And I like using like a bumper because the bumper is like so crazy and it has all the concaves and all that. So that's kind of how we've taught in our shop. But in this case, I think this is such a great way to kind of learn. And what I have here is a conductor. So basically, if you get the metal on the actual surface, it'll actually beep. But you basically turn this on, and when it's on, you use this, and because I'm using a metal blade, you do have to use a metal blade, or you could use this, but you have to somehow figure out a way to conduct it with the steel blade. But you basically put it on the end like this, and then look at this. So that's exactly what it's doing. And before I begin, I want to talk about some of the really common mistakes that a lot of beginners make. So first of all, get yourself a really good blade. I use Alpha or Red Dot or NT knife. Like these are very, very common blades that you can get in on Amazon or all different places. But I do have an Alpha blade right here. You always want to make sure that you use a brand new blade whenever you're starting on a project. You definitely don't want to just use one that's just been in there in your toolbox for a while. You want to keep your blades in a place that's going to be clean. The other thing is a lot of people do this as a habit. They do this. And I don't know why people do it, or maybe it's like a nervous thing, but that is not good. It actually ends up dulling the blade a little bit more. So try not to do that if you can avoid it. The other thing is, if you're going to do this, make sure you are also using not just a fresh blade, but typically blade usually has about like 7 or 8 or somewhere around that. But you want to cut it just like that. And when you're done doing this, I have a bad habit of doing this and I get in trouble all the time. You want something like this, like a razor blade disposal. Put it in a good place, because when you run your cleaner and your vacuum or something, that's going to destroy your vacuum. Don't ask me how I know. So make sure you put it in a very safe place like here. Yes, you can get one of these anywhere really. And then I think you're ready to go. And a couple other things is typically when you're cutting on PPF, you don't want the angle to be so high like this. You actually kind of want it more like this, because you want to use your fingers to be able to rest on it to kind of feel. And then also, it usually won't be this simple, right? This is not, I guess, kind of like a Cybertruck, but like other cars and most cars, unlike the Cybertruck, is going to be more concave and stuff. So you want to use your fingers to kind of control a little bit of the force and the speed and kind of glide across. And what some people actually do is they use a wrap glove, and then they use a knife like this, because then they can use this and it basically slides on the car or the surface a lot smoother. So these are some pro tips that I'll tell you. So we're going to get started. We're going to be focusing mostly on paint protection film, and here's why. A lot of times when we are doing vinyl, so this is vinyl, this is Avery Denn's SW900. When we do vinyl, I think most people are actually going to be using something called a knifeless tape. And a knifeless tape is very, very useful because you could basically put it right here on the surface and then pull a string and it'll cut it and it'll make a really, really nice cut, which makes sense, and you really don't have to use a knife on the car. And that's really rule number one, right? Like if you don't have to cut on the car, don't cut on the car. Even though you're insanely experienced, I think a lot of professionals will agree, if you don't have to do it, then don't do it, right? So like we will show you vinyl, and I think it's very important to practice cutting on vinyl as well, but you're going to use definitely a lot less force on the vinyl. So we'll show you that as well, but really we're going to focus more heavily on the paint protection side. Okay, we're going to talk about paint protection film. So this is a sand paint protection film. This is color PPF that we've been testing a little bit. The main thing for PPF is you're actually scoring the film, right? You're not actually cutting through all the way. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. When you cut on it, you're not actually like just digging your knife all the way in. You're literally just scoring it ever so gently. That scores it, and then you could kind of like start it, and then it'll peel or it'll cut. So we're gonna go ahead and put this film. Typically this is a wet install. I'm just gonna go ahead and see if I could dry install. Yeah, that's good. All right, so there's gonna be some bubbles, I'm sure. Actually, that's a lot better dry install than I thought. So I got all the PPF, I got all this stuff, and then I'm gonna go ahead and show you and prove to you that it is basically going to beep if I'm on the actual metal. So I got it nice and tight. There you go. So here's the thing. Again, not like this. Here, if I do this, watch this. You see that? I literally did not do anything. Like I barely push because your angle is too high like that. So what you want to do is typically when you're in a car, you're going to be like sideways like this, but I'm going to show you like this. You want to keep the angle low like this. And I'm going to do this back here so that I can cut more stuff. And basically just glide it and look at my fingers and go all the way out. And as you get closer, kind of stop right there. If you notice, I just kind of use my middle finger right here to kind of guide me. I can use my 3 fingers as well to kind of guide me, and I got a pretty straight cut as well. And I barely touched it. The other thing, I don't know if you heard it through my mic, is that typically the common thing that you're actually wanting to hear, and you'll hear this squeaky sound when you're actually cutting it. So once you do cut it, I'm going to go ahead and remove this. What you want to do is you want to actually get it started, typically like that, and just like that. Once you get it started, it cuts out clean like this. So this is a really good practice. Try to get it in, I don't know, about an inch, like half an inch line, and then practice that. So let me go ahead and put back my, there we go, just testing it. And then I'm gonna just go ahead and do this. You guys hear that? I think you heard that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start right here. Same thing right here. We're just gonna peel real quick. All right, same thing here. There we go, I was able to get it. And there you go, and then no beeps whatsoever. If you notice how I like holding, this is such a, I don't know if I wanna like tell people how to hold it, because I think this is such a personal preference. Like everybody has their own, like if you talk to an installer, like some people hold it so weird, but it works for them. So if it works for you, you know, more power to you. I like sometimes if I'm doing something really intricate, I like having my blade all the way out a little bit more. And then sometimes I like having less. One thing I have to watch out for is this line isn't that long. So I don't have a lot of, look at that. Like, so I have to be very careful so that this doesn't, you know, like that. So once you feel like you're comfortable, you could actually do some exercises like this. So basically kind of start with kind of, you know, lower angle, kind of like a wave. You could finish that. And then you could go a little bit more complex where it's a little bit more aggressive. You'll have to go a little slower because it's going to be bigger mountains basically. And then you can kind of work your way into a circle. And circle is actually pretty tough. So one thing here is I would probably stand up, but just so that I don't have to cover it up, I'm going to just start right here in the corner. I'm using my middle finger as a guide. So I know there's going to be a lot of people who can definitely cut faster than me, but it's not really about the speed. It's about accuracy. But I'm not the best cutter, I'll tell you that. So there's a lot of people that I've seen that was like, oh my goodness, you're a machine. So here we go. I got this cut right here. I'm gonna go ahead and get this. This is an awkward area to kind of peel. So I don't need this. There you go. There we go. So I got this started. And there you go. So basically you can practice this for as long as you want. Try to do it without making that beep, and it's a really good training. And then once you get to a circle, I'm not gonna, you can do like a bigger circle, but what I'm talking about a circle is really like a sensor circle, right? Because they're a little bit bigger than that, honestly. So I'll make it, it's pretty close to a circle. That second one got worse. But you can do it a couple ways. The way I do it is I do half moons. So I basically start from the top like this, and then I just go slow, and then basically from here on, this circle is not circular. All right, and then basically I lost it, but I'll find the middle right here, and then I'll complete it. And I'll basically go around. And work my way around. And typically what you want to do in PPF, and this is like, can't really see it. And there's a lot more tools now where there's actually a tool to cut circles a lot better. But you kind of find like an opening, and then you just kind of flick it. This is hard on this surface right here, and I'm getting my fingers all dirty. It's so hydrophobic that it's like hard to All right, so that was tough. And this is what a sensor would look like. But there is one tool that we're about to show you. So let me get it, and then I'll be right back. All right, so I got this really cool thing, and it's actually been months since they sent us this, and it's actually from England. And the designer, pretty brilliant actually. This is a Jules Sturgis Automotive.co.uk. We'll put the link here. They were actually the first people to make this tool right here that you see today. And I think it's been copied, so support these guys. These guys are really the original ones that did this. But basically, you can put this on a little, you see that right there? And then this right here is a blade that you can control. All right, so I can see, I don't know if you see this right here, but there's a tiny, tiny little blade that it is right there, right? So basically, you can do this, push this in, and I don't know if there's a way to connect it. I can't really connect that to this thing right here. But basically, you just do this and do this circle. And when you do that, you take this out, and same thing. And you make an insanely much cleaner circle than this. To be fair though, I did draw that with my hands, and that was just not a very clean circle to begin with. So if it was actually circular, I felt like I would have done a little bit better than that, okay? So this allows you to also, obviously this is a really big circle, sensors aren't that big. You can actually control it so it's closer to the body, which allows you to do even better. So let me do one more. I'm actually, okay, boom, take it out. And same thing, guys, basically. Boom, look at that. That's about the size of a sensor. So this is really cool. And why is this important? So if you're wondering, why am I doing circles all day? Well, here's the thing. So for vinyl, typically it's normal for it to go over the sensors, right? So the radar sensors that go over the car, and you can actually leave that in there for the most part. It's thin enough, it's not really gonna have any issues. However, the PPF thickness, some of them are really, really thick. It could actually interfere with some of the radar sensors. So I think it's more common practice for people to actually remove and cut around the sensors basically, right? So that's why the circular part is actually going to be a very important aspect of it. So this is such a cool tool. Thank you so much for making this. This is so cool and it works really, really well. So I'll put the link out if you're a professional getting started. Honestly, I want to give this to a lot of the newbies that don't know how to do circles just yet. But I think the traditional folks will probably continue to use their knife. I like using the anti-knife, to be honest. But then you just kind of keep practicing this. So I mean, do your circles, do your squares, do your lines, and really kind of get good at it. And then the more you practice, the better you get. And then once you get comfortable, you can cut really, really fast. And then make sure you're not making any mistakes. So let's go ahead and show you this. All right, but make sure if this content was helpful, click on that subscribe button. So now that we have the PPF out of the way, we did some fun testing over there outside the camera. I'm gonna show you vinyl. So vinyl is way thinner, just so you guys understand. And what's cool, this is SW900 from Avery Denizen. And you can see vinyl is right here. So check this out. I can use this right here. I mean, yeah, it definitely beeps. You can do the same thing. I would say definitely lighter. So if I say lighter, check this out. Just like that. So same thing on this one. If I want to do a little bit more, you know, fun stuff, some waves. I'm barely grazing the film. And then from then on, you can see just like that, right? So I would say, sorry, I dropped this thing. I don't know about the percentage, but I mean, I would say vinyl is probably at least like half, I don't know, maybe like 60% of when I'm doing PPF. But I'm literally like, I kind of like my blade a little bit more out just so that I have a little bit more, it's like limp. And then I could just kind of glide through it. Again, for vinyl, I would prefer you don't cut it on the car. I mean, again, you can use something like knifeless tape, but it is a really good practice in terms of just, if you're learning, there's going to be a time where it might be where you might need to actually cut on a car because you don't have a choice. And at that time, you'll be ready and you'll be able to do that. So I have it. So same thing right here, guys, is that I barely graze this. But if you notice, I'm still scoring it basically. I mean, but it cuts a lot easier than PPF. I think you need to pull a little bit more, tug a little bit more on the PPF side. Vinyl is definitely a little bit easier to tear. Oh, that's just the start, sorry. And just, oh. And be careful, that's another reminder, right? Like a lot of people tend to touch, you know, the blade with the car towards the end. So like when you actually get to the exit point and the entry points, it's a very, very high risk. So what you want to do is just be careful. And as you get closer, honestly, you could kind of stop because when you rip this out, you'll be able to go all the way out. So we got Desto, who is not a rapper, but we're going to see if you can learn how to do this.
Okay.
This might give you a little anxiety from all the beeping, but it's kind of like operations, right? You ever play that? Are you good at operations?
No.
Okay, then you'll suck at this one then. All right, so we're going to do vinyl. And all right, no lesson. She just literally came into the door. This is linked. Try to do like a straight line.
So I'm just like scoring it or something?
Yeah, you're basically going from the middle and then going to the other side. I'll give you
But
no
it's gotta
tips.
Stay on there.
Yeah, that does have to stay in there.
Okay.
Oh, you
Okay.
fell. Yeah, you totally fell. Dead.
I'm so nervous.
Here. Don't make that sound. Oh, yeah, that's bad. Dead. Okay, so let me give you a tip real quick. Okay, so first of all right, you want to really hold it like very limp. And then you want to use, typically I like using my index and my middle finger to get a pulse of the pressure that's actually on the surface.
Okay.
So just start right here.
Oh, you're touching it. So
Yeah.
I'm confused.
And then you basically just score it all the way through. Here's another tip. Don't, so this is mine right here. Okay, so this is me.
So like, does it? It's like the metal on metal. That's what it's.
Yeah, so the metal and metal that's how
So
it
I
actually.
can touch it, and it's
You can
fine.
touch it with your fingers,
Okay.
yeah, but you can't touch the
Sure,
metal with
fine.
the metal. So the other thing is I saw you were really high angle like that.
Yeah.
Try to keep it as flat as you can to the actual surface. All right, so try that with
do
those
one up
tips.
here.
Yeah, you could do it above there. And then start a little bit before.
Okay.
So even lower angle. Yeah. Just a disclaimer, Desto does not wrap
was
any.
better.
Desto does not wrap any of our cars.
should know.
She's in customer support, so. but here, let me, come back. We got one more. So try to just hold it with 2 fingers now, okay, and then use all the other ones to basically just guide you in terms of this. So just kind of do this
Okay.
all the way. I mean, it's so light. It's
Okay.
so light
I'm
in
gonna do it
terms of.
down here.
Yeah, do 2 fingers. Just hold it with
it's
2
like
fingers.
that.
Just hold 2 fingers. Yep. And then just try to loosen up a little bit, and then
You were holding it like that.
hold it however is most comfortable actually for you.
Not cut, so
Yeah. Okay.
nothing's comfortable.
Okay.
Do you see me shaking?
Yeah. Why are you shaking? Did you have too much coffee?
Maybe. I'm just nervous.
All right. Try again. All right. So I like holding it like this. Okay. Is that comfortable when you hold it kind of like this 2 finger and then using this 3 finger? Or what if you do like this?
With my other, keeping it balanced.
Like that.
Yeah.
Try that.
Yeah.
Just try to get comfortable before you actually start. But you need to use your fingers to basically kind of control the pressure a little bit, right?
Yep.
That's good. Line up. Go! All right, now the test though. It actually has to like
I
tear.
don't think it scored.
Okay, so there actually is a line right here. Let's see if it worked. It probably did because it is very light.
Oh.
It worked.
We got a new profession.
There you go. So I think after a few more years, you'll be able to wrap a car.
I think I'm good.
I'm just kidding. But there you go. I mean, really, some of those tips right there was really all you needed to hear. And, I think that's part of it, right? Like the holding, I like holding it with just 2 fingers like that. You don't want to like grab it or muscle it. I mean, you're really like holding it like limp. And you're kind of using whatever finger is comfortable for you to basically control the pressure on the surface of the car. And that's why I do like using like a wrap glove, mainly because this is a nylon typically, and it has, it's super smooth to the surface, so you can kind of glide through when you're cutting the surface of the car. So that was a fun little segment. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. But keep practicing, and we'll see you later.